We all have too much to read, not enough time. So we need to know, how do we get more reading done in less time? And we've covered this in our speed reading workshop, but let's go over it again. I want to measure your reading speed. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have an article on the screen, and let me disable my webcam for the moment. What I want you to do is make sure your screen is maximized fully, because the article I'm going to have on the screen looks like this, and you're going to be reading from the screen. So you want to be able to see that. So make sure it's maximized. I'm going to take it away for a moment here, give you a moment to maximize your screen. And of course, if you're on a mobile device, you can even measure your reading speed in any other kind of reading material you have nearby in reaching distance. But all we're going to do is read for a minute. And I want you to read the way you normally would. I'm going to disable my webcam here just because it'll increase the screen size if my webcam is not there. So goodbye temporarily. And let's go over what we're going to cover. This is just a passage from a book that's really on investing, how to become an extraordinary investor and stock picker, a complete guide to value investing, evaluation, and compounding your wealth. This person right here happens to be my brother, actually, Robert Novak, CFA. He's got a ton of experience with investing and trading. Anyway, he's given me permission to utilize just some passages from his book, so we'll use that content. And everybody's got to deal with financial things, so hopefully maybe somewhat useful information to you. So I'm going to give you a minute, and I just want you to read the way you normally would. This material is not extremely easy. It's also not extremely technical. Just read the way you normally would, and I'll stop you in a minute. So let me put a minute on the clock first. There's my timer. You'll hear it stop again. You'll hear the beeping sound when we're done with a minute. So here's the article. Go ahead and begin reading. Okay, that's a minute. Look at the line where you stopped. Let's figure out your speed. Now, the numbers on the right-hand side tell you how many words are to the end of that line. So take a look at the line where you stopped reading and just take note. What was your speed? Now, this is based on, again, medium level material. If you finished, I don't know, the first two paragraphs, you see it says 218. If you finished up to here, that's 235. By the way, the numbers tell you how many words are exactly to the end of that line. So if you didn't read, let's say you stopped here and you didn't read the last two words, we just subtract 2. Anyway, hopefully you got your speed there. And again, this is just to kind of measure where we are. This is the average. We talked about it in our speed reading workshop. This applies to lots of people, generally adults, but it doesn't take into account education level. For college educated adults, it is a little higher, 150 to 250 generally, 200 to 300 for the college educated. And on the screen, it's a little bit slower, 136, believe it or not. This is one of those things where the reason it's slower on the screen is because there's more potential distractions when we're reading on the screen. If I'm reading a physical book, I mean, there's no ad that's going to pop up after I turn the page. There's not going to be a link in the middle of a paragraph that gets me curious, like, I wonder what that article's about. And now I open that in a tab. I read through that article. Halfway through, I open another link in a tab. Before I know it, I've got 20 tabs open, and I'm wondering, what did I get myself into? Not a good way to go when we're trying to be focused, but when we're reading on the screen, that's more likely to happen. And of course, there's things like the glare from the screen that affect our eyes. If you're reading for an hour on the page versus on the screen, there's going to be more eye strain on the screen. And of course, we can try to limit that. There are like these blue light glasses that kind of help with that, especially if we're on the screen getting closer and closer into the evening, it can affect our sleep. So we can dim our screen. Some screens, like I know my screen will dim depending on the ambient light around in the room. So you could set that automatically on a Mac. I'm sure there's a similar setting on a PC. Some of our phones have that as well. So all these things to consider. We all know that your reading speed is also affected by things like how interested am I in this? If something is boring, I'll probably read it slower because it's boring. If I'm more engaged, I'll go faster. But let's go over some of the most important concepts for reading efficiently. So number one, use your hand as a guide. I'll just go over this quickly because we did cover it in our speed reading workshop. That is just creating motion on the page, either with your hand, your finger, or some people prefer a pen. Basically, idea is your eyes are attracted to motion. Create some movement on the page. Your eyes naturally follow. You have better focus. If you have better focus, you'll have a faster speed. And if you have better focus, you'll comprehend better. Now I realize this is not very practical on the screen because nobody wants to be dragging their finger on the screen. So what we do instead is maybe we use a program, and one of the programs we recommend that we've created is Accelerator. Again, I'm only going to cover this briefly because it was covered in our speed reading workshop. But that, if you go accelerator.com, let me show you what that looks like. It's just a speed reading tool we developed to help you read faster on the screen. So let's say you have this article right here from The Onion. NASA scientists prank new guy by pretending they don't see the moon. Okay, so we copy the text from here. I've already copied it, by the way. We paste it into the program. Looks like this, accelerator.com. And this is just a quick paragraph. I'll show you what it looks like. We click begin, and then focus your attention right here. We're going to go 250 words a minute, and then we'll bump it up a little bit. Here's what 250 looks like. You'll notice these are the first two words of the article right here. You see these two words? What's going to happen is the words are going to blink on the screen at the speed we set. Here we go. Okay, now we should challenge ourselves to go a little faster by, if you're comfortable at 250, why not try 300? So here, we'll take a productivity related article here. Procrastinating surgeon putting off entire coronary bypass by cleaning entire hospital. Okay, so actually this is another short little article. I already copy and pasted it here. Let's go, instead of 250, I'm gonna bump it up to 300. We go to settings, we change the words per minute to 300, and we save. Let's see if you could still keep up. Here we go. So there's 300. Now, I know some of you might be comfortable at 300, so let's try bumping it up to 350. Here's another Onion article, another one related to NASA. NASA lights astronauts on fire in order to simulate life on Venus. Again, we'll just do another quick little demonstration. We highlight, we copy the text, we paste it into the program. Hang on, I didn't copy. Copy, paste, begin. By the way, there are keyboard shortcuts. If you want to be a little more productive with this program, just use the up and down arrow keys to increase or decrease your speed. Or if you need to go back, hit the space bar to pause the program, and then just use the left arrow key to go back. Or you could use the right arrow key if you want to skip ahead. Let's try it out. 350. I'm going to bump up the speed. Focus right here. I'm going to bump that up to 350. Let's see if you can still keep up. Here we go. All right, some interesting insights from the Onion. Anyway, this is a program that you can utilize if you're trying to get a little faster with your reading, trying to train yourself. Let's go back to the slides because there's quite a few things more that I want to cover here. And one of those things is doing these speed drills. Again, we've covered it in the speed reading workshop, but we'll do one real quick right now. What you do is you purposely try to go faster than you would normally read. This is all about the basic principle of getting better at something. You got to push yourself out of the comfort zone. That's just a general rule of thumb. It's how we get better at sports. It's how we get better at music. That's how we get better at just about any kind of skill. We got to kind of get out of that comfort zone. And right now, we're all at a certain comfort zone when it comes to reading. So let's push ourselves a little further. So what we do is in a speed drill, we take material we've already read and we try to go through that same text just a little bit faster. So I'll give you 40 seconds right now. Here's what we're going to do. And again, I'll disable my webcam. You're going to start at the beginning of this article that you read previously. I'm going to give you 40 seconds, and I just want you to get to the line that you previously read up to. So maybe you read up to here. Maybe you read up to here. Remember, we measured your speed on the same article here. I want you to get to the point you read up to in 60 seconds. It took you 60 seconds to get here or here. You got to get there now in 40 seconds. And all you're doing is skimming what you already read. Let's try it out. Just move your eyes faster through the text. Ready? I'm going to put 40 seconds on the clock. Ready, set, and go. All right, that was 40 seconds. If you got there, very good. Now we might do this again and again. We did it in the speed reading workshop numerous times. Let's say I give you 30 seconds on the material. From the top, get to the same line that you previously read up to. Get there now in 30 seconds. Let's see if you can still do it. Just skim through the text. That's all we're doing, starting at the beginning, getting to the point that we read up to in half the time. Let's try it again. This is like a skimming exercise. Ready, set, and go. A little faster. And stop. All right, that was 30 seconds. Now, we can keep doing this, but you could also do it with the accelerator program. And the way that works is you go through material that you previously read. Now, what is that? I don't know. Maybe it's this article right here, or maybe it's this one right here, or this one. Remember this article right here, we read through that at 250 words a minute. Well, when you do a speed drill, it's good to go at a rate that's about double your normal speed. So I'm going to bump this number up from 250. Look down here. I'm going to press the up arrow key a few times, and we're going to go 500 words a minute. Let's try it out. Here we go. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll increase the speed from, remember this article right here, procrastinating surgeon putting off coronary bypass by cleaning entire hospital. What we're going to do is go, instead of the 300 that we did before, we're going to do 600. So I'm going to press the up arrow key a few times. You see it changing there at the bottom? Now we're going to go 600 words a minute. I'm going to press R. You see the R button will restart. So I'm going to click R to restart. And let's fly through this at 600 words a minute. Here's how that looks. Here we go. Okay, so 600 words per minute. Again, this is just skimming over text we already read. So now we have this article which was about NASA lights astronauts on fire in order to simulate life on Mars. We did that one at 350 words a minute. Let's bump it up to 700. Why? Because that's double the rate we read it. So we go, I'm gonna click R to restart, and let's fly through this at, I'm gonna fly through it at 700 words per minute. Here we go. Okay, so I think you get the point. The whole idea here is if you're going to be practicing and trying to improve your reading speed, you need to push yourself out of that comfort zone. And that's all we're doing at the moment, anytime we're trying to get better at something. So going back to the slides here, what if we went back to normal reading? I'm going to pull up an article here, and I want you to read for a minute. And all I want you to do is read at your normal speed. We were just doing a few speed drills where you just fly through the information. I want you now to slow it down, not too slow, but not too fast. Okay, go at whatever speed feels comfortable, and I'll stop you in 1 minute. Okay, so you're just reading this text. This is from the same book, just a different chapter. Ready, set, go. All right, that was a minute of reading, and look at the line where you stopped. It's not uncommon. Sometimes people read a little faster after just a handful of drills. If you read a little faster, I mean, feel free to post your speed in the chat, beginning and ending speed. Feel free to do that. Not everyone makes an improvement after just a few drills, but some people do. If you made an improvement, awesome. Let's talk about some other ways that you can read faster. And by the way, we've got the success baby here to kind of give you some motivation if you made a little improvement from just a little bit of practice. Sometimes a little bit of practice goes a long way. Now, the way the drills work, I like to compare it to being on the highway. You get used to going faster on the highway, let's say 70 miles an hour. You get off the highway, all of a sudden it feels so slow. Why does it feel slow? Because we got used to going much, much faster.